everyone, welcome to Morning Listeners. This is Nilima Case, and today we are bringing to you an interview session with Ms. Julie McClure. Morning Listeners is an online magazine dedicated to women. It showcases various articles, personal life stories, and interview sessions on different matters concerning women. And today, our interviewee, Ms. Julie, happens to be the CEO and founder of Hello Me. So let us welcome our interviewee. Hello, Julie.
Well, hello. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to
How
be
are you
here
doing?
today.
That's great. It's a pleasure to have you on board with us too. Well, so how are you doing today?
Well, today my day is just getting going for the most part, but it's been great. It's sunny outside. I'm in Santa Monica, and feeling good.
That sounds great. So since you're on board with the morning listeners, let us begin from the morning itself. So how do you normally begin your day? Share with us your morning routine, perhaps.
Okay, well, when I first wake up, I have a small puppy, so he's 1.5, and I usually take him outside for a little walk immediately. And then I come back and I hydrate. So I take my Hydrophoria, which is a product we're coming out with. And that's something that I love to just start my day, get energized and rehydrate after the night. Then I typically get ready, go for a workout. Post-workout, I'll have a coffee. I do love my coffee. And then I get ready for the day. So I go to work and start working on Hello Me.
Interesting. So what made you smile today?
This morning, the first thing that made me smile was actually a message from my sister, who I'm very close with in Toronto, who I haven't spoken to in a couple of weeks. We usually talk all the time. And she sent me a cute note over Instagram. So that's the first smile of my day.
Well, I've heard that sisters become often the best friends one could have. I'm an only child, so don't really know how it's good to have a sibling, but I think it would be really great, right?
Yes, I mean, she is my best friend, and she's always there for me. So it's unusual to not speak for a couple of weeks. So it was just really nice to get a cute message to kick off my day today.
That's great. So what's a goal you've set to achieve by the end of this day?
So today is a fun day. I'm actually speaking on a panel with another founder, and we're talking to 800 of Bumble's ambassadors. So we're talking about wellness and reproductive health. So my goal today is to empower these women who are in their, say 20s, and really empower them through education about reproductive health, side effects of birth control, things that they can do lifestyle-wise to feel better and to really feel on top of the world and ready to conquer their goals. So that's my goal for today, is to educate and inspire.
That sounds brilliant. So what did you have on your breakfast platter today?
So on my breakfast today, so I've actually been doing a reset program through an LA-based company for the last 2 weeks, and it's all plant-based. And so my breakfast today was a bowl with hemp seeds, and it actually had cabbage in it. It had avocado, some other vegetables, and then it had this coconut hibiscus yogurt. So it was really delicious, something very different than I would normally make, but I loved it.
Avocado sounds so yummy. I hope you aren't tempting our audience by mentioning all these goody foods. Right. So how are you coping up with the third day of pandemic?
So for me, to be honest, I mean, I've now been vaccinated and I've had COVID. So I am trying to not focus a whole lot of my life on it. I'm obviously, going along with the rules and wearing masks, etc. But I really am trying to just live my life and focus on the fact that we're starting to get back to a little bit of normalization. I always focus on keeping my immune system strong. So post-COVID, I really had to work on that because it did take a couple of weeks to get back to normal. And so for me, it's sort of blocking out the fear, keeping my immune system strong, and really focusing on still connecting with people, because I think the first couple of lockdowns and couple of years have been very hard from that perspective, with us losing touch with people and not connecting as often. And so for me, that's been a focus. And also I've been inspired by, or I should say, encouraged by the fact that I'm hearing more and more people say that they think post cold and flu season, this is going to move more to an endemic situation and we'll start to return to some level of normalcy. So I don't know if that answers your question, but there's a few different ways that I'm coping with it. One, through my own immune system and staying strong, but two, just really trying to live my life as best as I can and not focus on the fear aspects of it.
That's great. Well, so we're done with the intro by that end. Now let's move on to some questions about Hello Me. Actually, I'm truly excited for this interview since we're going to cover so many important topics like PMS, birth control, which doesn't often get that much attention. So let's begin then. So share with us the backstory of Hello Me. How did you actually come about building this platform?
Yes, I wanted to build a brand that I would fall in love with and a brand that would empower other women and hopefully draw them in and be empowered in their own health. So, she's bold, she's beautiful, and she's beautiful because she's authentic. And, we've got this great line of innovative products that do address issues that so many women experience with hormone imbalance. And that stems from one of the key pillars of my clean and clear living philosophy, which is, you need to have your hormones balanced to have this internal blueprint that is holistically well and puts you into a place of thriving versus surviving.
That's great. So when I had visited your website, I had come across this term called Hormones 101. So what exactly is the concept behind Hormones 101?
So, hormones is something we historically have not talked a lot about. And part of, the big mission behind Hello Me is to empower women through education, as I mentioned, but also just to destigmatize and to normalize the conversation around hormones. And it's historically been something that's been very clinical and almost taboo to talk about. I know when I was in my 20s, nobody talked about birth control or PMS, etc., or low libido. And so Hormones 101 is our way of starting to bring out that dialogue around hormones and to educate women in terms of how important they are in your body and how they can be affecting your wellness and beauty goals. Because when your hormones are out of balance, it's really hard, and you don't get to the root cause, it's really hard to feel your best or to look your best. And so this is our introductory way of kind of educating what hormones are, how hormone imbalances manifest, and really just sort of laying the foundation so that everyone starts from this equal place of education to understand their bodies and what's going on.
It sounds informative. So talking about birth control, what do you think are the common side effects of birth control?
So we have, thousands of women who are on our top optonic product because they're also on birth control. And largely the most common complaints are mood swings. So anything from anxiety to irritability to depression, right? Just not feeling like themselves. That's a big one, some mood swings. Secondly, fatigue is a really large one. So a lot of women complain of that. Third, I would say is, so we've got mood, fatigue, bloating, right? So your digestive health gets kind of turned upside down with hormonal birth control often. And so that's a big symptom. And then hormonal acne, surprisingly, is a big one, as well as low sex drive. So those would be the top 5.
That's great. Now, since the pandemic is around is all around us, engulfing us, in fact, many of us have taken COVID-19 vaccine. And so could you please tell us how exactly is the COVID-19 vaccine linked with the menstrual cycle? Like what exactly happens like when you get your first dose, and how does it actually impact your menstrual cycle or periods?
So there's been over 30,000 different reports of cycle changes that we know of. There's been a few key pieces of literature, scientific literature coming out. At the present time, it's a correlation, meaning that they're showing that it's related, like women are reporting on average, I think it's 0.7 day increase in their cycle days after first vaccine, and almost a full day, so 0.9 day increase after their second, and that their cycles tend to return to normalcy after 2 full menstrual cycles post your vaccine. So that's been the most common reported change in terms of cycle duration, but it does revert back to the norm. But more science has to be done to investigate this to show that it is a true side effect, right? So they're not currently reporting it as a side effect. Some of the hypotheses behind it is that stress could be a contributing factor. So we all know that stress causes inflammation in the body. Inflammation can lead to changes in your cycle. It can also lead to, more aggravated PMS symptoms. So that's sort of a hypothesis. But at the present time, it's more a lot of people coming out and stating that their cycle has changed, and then it's taken a couple months to revert back to normal.
Interesting. So now talking about Top Up Tonic, one of your most reviewed product, in fact. So
Yes.
Could this product be taken with other supplements?
Yes, absolutely it can. It's not necessary to be taking, like say, if you're taking a multivitamin, you don't need to be taking that when you're taking Top Up Tonic, because it's got everything your body needs in its therapeutic dosage, in its most bioavailable form, and clean ingredients. So Top Up Tonic, just for those who aren't familiar with it, is a once a day vegan capsule that has 18 probiotics, antioxidants, and nutrients that your body needs for optimal functioning and for hormonal balance. So we've got everything from vitamin C, your B vitamins, to your probiotics to really give this complete formula for women. You take it once a day with food, either in the morning or the afternoon. And it's incredibly effective. And I encourage people to look at the reviews because, we've got thousands of reviews on the site. It's incredibly effective with helping women with PMS or PMDD, which is a more severe form of PMS. And that happens over 1 to 2 cycles. And the other thing it's incredibly effective is to mitigate the side effects of hormonal birth control, because that usually creeps up on women because they're being depleted of key nutrients over time. So for instance, when I was on birth control for 10 years, I had chronic migraines and then later started to develop chronic anxiety. And I was being depleted of my Bs, being depleted of magnesium and CoQ10. And so for me, those were the 2 side effects that manifested from these nutrient depletions. So we replenish everything it strips away. And we also, 70% of women who are on birth control have side effects, but 100% of women, because a lot of us are on it for many years, have a higher risk of longer term health effects. Things like a 5 times the risk of irritable bowel disease, or higher risk of HPV infections, which can lead to cervical dysplasia and cervical cancer, lowered immunity. So these nutrients are really important to protect the body. And so if you're going to be on hormonal birth control, or if you're having issues with your PMS, this is kind of putting your body back into formation so that you can get back to feeling and looking your best.
Right. Now talking about PMS, so how can Top Up Tonic actually help with PMS?
So PMS is a symptom of hormone imbalance. So it's not something as women we just need to have to accept that, we drew the short stick and we're going to live with PMS for the rest of our life. And we do this with Top Up Tonic by replenishing key nutrients such as your B vitamins, magnesium. Magnesium is lower in women. And it's really important for so many functions and for hormonal balance. So those are some of the key ingredients, as well as just overall, when you balance out the system and you reduce inflammation levels in the body, it tends to, it's correlated with reducing PMS symptoms. And that's shown in things like blood markers for inflammation, but we don't need to get into all the deep science there. But think about reducing inflammation, replenishing the body with your Bs and your magnesium, and then overall holistically, supporting the body from a hormonal standpoint.
Right. Now, how would you like to regard your journey as an entrepreneur? Did you find it challenging?
Yes, I think if anyone were to say entrepreneurship is not challenging, I would love to hear why not. It's challenging from many perspectives. You're creating something that hasn't been created before. So there's no playbook, and you have to create that playbook. And that's where the challenge comes, because, somebody can't hand you literally what you're going to do every day and how you're going to get from step A to B. Part of the, a large part of the fun and why I love being an entrepreneur is figuring that out and making a vision come to life. So yes, there's highs and there's lows, but hopefully there's more highs than lows through the journey. And, having founded 2 businesses now, my first was a cold pressed juice company in Canada. And now Hello Me, what I've learned is it's really important to celebrate the small milestones. I didn't do that with my first venture. And if you only look at sort of the end goal, it's a longer journey. You need the small, big ones. You enjoy the process because you learn so much. People, it's it's really fun to see it come to life. To stay, just take a week and recognize all that you accomplished along the way and say, oh, I made it and I've sold my company.
Right. So where do you see Hello Me in the next 10 years?
So Hello Me plans to become the household name for all things related to hormonal self-care. So addressing root cause problems for women who are experiencing wellness challenges, beauty challenges like acne. And we really want to have a product line that extends across women's life cycles. So, when you are going through anything from being on birth control and having side effects to you've just had your first child and you're experiencing postpartum to you're going through perimenopause, menopause, Hello Me, you can turn to as a trusted source for products that will allow you to gracefully transition from one life stage to the next and really meet those needs and be tailored to where you are in your life stage so that you truly can be looking and feeling your best and, be your most bold, badass self and doing what you're meant to be here to do.
That's encouraging. Now, lastly, what do you think this world needs the most?
My view is the world needs people to operate and make decisions from a place of love versus fear. We need to celebrate people who are authentic and operating from that place so that more people are encouraged to follow their passions, to be their authentic selves, because I believe that when you operate from a place of authenticity and what truly makes you come alive, you not only heal yourself, because I think a lot of disease stems from emotional distress, but I think you also heal the world at large because you encourage others to do the same thing. So it would be a self movement focused on operating from a place of love and authenticity.
Well, so on that brilliant message, we come to the end of this interview session. I had a great time talking to you. We truly appreciate your time and patience. And thank you, audience, for being with us today. We hope you loved it.
Well, thanks for having me. And would love to chat again. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to our hormone hotline or check us out on hello.me.
Thank you.